I woke up this morning and there was about 3 or 4 inches of snow on the ground here in Ashland, Oregon. It's the first time that it's snowed here, and it was just quiet. You know, the snow had that kind of muffling, quieting, effect, and it was just quiet stillness, and it kind of set the tone for what I want to talk about in today's blog. So, on the medicine wheel, in my tradition anyway, it's this is known as the time of introspection. It's the north on the medicine wheel. The peak of the north, if you will, is the winter solstice, which we had on December 21st, 20th, 21st. It was one of those days. And however, if you think about it, at that time of year, we're just getting ready to go into the holidays in our culture. And so, it's busy. We're getting ready for whatever holidays we're going to celebrate, in-laws and friends, and there's traveling. And so it's not this quiet time of year. But now, as we go into early January, post-holidays, it's the time on the medicine wheel that I call deep winter, because it just is, the days are still short, relatively short, not much longer than they were on December 21st, when it was the shortest day of the year. So they're still short. When I get out of work, like 5 o'clock, it's dark pretty much. And so visually, I've talked about this, visually, our visual reference is more inside. If it's dark out, our consciousness is not out in the distance, it's more in closer to us. So this is this introspection, this time of introspection, that's really the quality of this time of the year. And so introspection means like look within, right? Literally looking within. And it's a time when we can sense like what is going, the inquiry question that I really like is like, what is going on inside? What is going on inside me, spiritually and emotionally? And, what is it like in there? Because one of the things this time of year is there aren't a lot of distractions, right? We wish there were more distractions. There was more going on. Also, I stopped to downtown on my way home. It was snowing, so everyone was inside, and there was just nothing going on. So it just is like, we're looking for, I'm looking for socialization and things to do, and, and it's just quiet, and so here we are left to deal with ourselves, whether we like it or not. It's a time. Now, spiritually, okay, this is a real opportunity. So I guess I want to talk about this kind of spiritually and emotionally. So I'll start with spiritually. So spiritually, this is a time that is really powerful, and it's advantageous. It's a time that is really conducive to spirituality, and going inside and going deep winter, going inside. I'm here with the whale because, the whale swims deep, and so it's really like Vision Quest is a ceremony that we do. Actually, we're going to do a Vision Quest this summer, for our summer ceremonies. But if you in Vision Quest, we actually kind of create some sensory deprivation. I mean, not like I would really like to get into those sensory deprivation tanks for all of us, but that's maybe not practical. But so we do a sequester, and we visualize, we make it dark even in the daytime, and we try to have it so visually we're going inside, and there's nothing to do, right? There's no TV, there's no cell phones, there's no distractions. So we're just left with ourselves. And that's kind of the time on the medicine wheel. So it's a real opportune time spiritually. Like our spirit guides are probably like, yeah, this is an awesome time of year. Maybe Mike will like pay more attention to what's going on inside. We like this time. And of course, we're like, I mean, it's not our favorite time of the year usually. People, like I think last week's blog, I started with like Happy January, and people are like, what, is he messing with us? Well, in that case, I kind of was messing with you, but you know, it's not many people's favorite time of the year, you know, but yet here it is, and here we are, so we might as well get its value. So its value is it's the perfect time for deep inquiry, you know, and like asking ourselves questions is what inquiring within, you know, like asking ourselves questions like what is going on inside, you know, is a question of inquiry. What is my purpose? Spiritual, you know, it's a time of like, what is my purpose? Like, you know, is it time to change course? Do I like the course that my life is on? You know, and it's a natural time of reevaluation. We've got time to ourselves, and it's a time we can like, do I like what's going on in my life? Am I happy with my job? Am I happy with my marriage? Am I happy with community? Am I happy with myself and, you know, with the things going on and the way, it's a natural time to ask these questions. It's a time we're almost disengaged, or we do this when we go on retreats too. We turn off the cell phone. It's a time to ask these questions. It's like a time in between. It's in time in between the last year and the next year. So it's a perfect time to reevaluate. Am I happy with my life as it was last year? Because in the spring, I'm going to get to reinvent my life here. So it's just perfect time to ask, you know, what do I want in life? That's another one. What are the possibilities? You know, what are the new things spiritually that are coming to me? In Vision Quest, it's a time we seek our vision. A vision is a thing that comes to us, you know, it might be in a visual thing, in an animal or a scenario, almost like a dream or whatever else. It's a time, and then symbolically, that vision is giving us kind of a representation of what our vision is, like what our purpose is, or what our medicine is, what our healing gifts are, what our spiritual gifts are. And it's a perfect time to get in touch with that. Our dreams, it's a really good time to pay attention to our dreams, because they are part of this deep introspection. You can come to the dream class on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday night. Some of you maybe tonight when you see this video, and every other Tuesday we do a dream interpretation group. So it's a great time to pay attention to your dreams and do this inquiry. You know, a great time for meditation. You know, it's really, really good time to meditate and just let it be quiet, and then see what emerges, see what bubbles up from the depths, you know. And not necessarily an easy time, you know, but to just sit there and see what's there. But can be very powerful. And it, you know, we might as well go with it, because here it is. We might as well utilize its value, because we ain't going to get out of it. I mean, we can try to distract ourselves from it. We can medicate ourselves or keep busy or work a lot, or, you know, but it's like, it's still going to get us. We're still going to feel this, so we might as well, my thought is, let's surrender to it and get its value. Let's go deeper. Let's go toward it and go deeper for it. And that really helps with the second dimension I want to think about this on is emotionally. So emotionally, it's a time when we feel deeper as well. And so because there are less distractions and we're more inside, so we can actually feel what's going on inside. When I ask what is going on inside, like what am I feeling inside? Okay, and it's a great question, a great inquiry question to ask you, like, what am I feeling inside? And sometimes it could be sad, or it could be lonely, because I mean, we're having less interaction. And but I really like even getting more specific with the feelings, and like sometimes imagery, like it just feels like the world's closing in on me, or it just feels like I'm like bursting at the seams, or I feel like I'm just oppressed and I just want to escape, or I'm just really sad, like I just lost my last friend, or like these expressions that have little nuances to them are really fun to just, are really effective to help us identify what the specific feeling is that we're feeling. And so really let that kind of come to you. Our intuition in our inner consciousness works on these nuances. So, if we said like lonely, like what do you mean by lonely? It's like kind of the Eskimos have like whatever 80 words for snow or something because they're in the snow so much. It's like, well, this is a time of year where we can get a more specific with our feeling than sad or lonely or happy. I'm so happy that I could just blah blah blah. It's like, these are. So that's a really good tool, is to try to find the specific feeling, to find the energy of the feeling or the essence of the feeling. We can like walk it back. What am I sad about? If like it's fear, what am I afraid will happen? If I'm sad, what am I sad about? What it feels like I lost something. What did I lose? Like what is the thing what's really going on? There's the thing that didn't go my way today at work or whatever else, or I'm mad at my, friend, or, there's that. But what's underneath that? And inquiry is like a way of walking these feelings back to like, what's the core feeling here? Core issue, core feeling. What am I sad about? What am I happy about? What does the joy feel like? And what is the insecurity? I feel insecure. Like, what am I insecure? Why? Or I feel really confident. I just feel like I can trust myself more. Like, what is it? So you get the idea. I'm just kind of rambling and riffing here a little bit to try to give you a sense. The other thing we can do feeling wise, I like to do this a lot in meditation, is we can work like at the sensory level. Like when we meditate, I often like to meditate on just this sense of presence and what it feels like. And then, so does it feel spacious, or does it feel expansive, or does it feel constrictive, or does it feel ominous, or does it feel like joyous? Like you can work on we can work on the physical, like the senses. Like what are the senses telling us? Like, because they will tell us that the senses can reflect not only what's going on outside, but our senses, our kinesthetic senses, especially, our senses of feeling and discernment and intuition, like they can tell us what's going on inside. So this is back to it feels like this, and so it's a real time to just let it go deeper. And then it's like, and then why am I this? And then how come this? And what everything's going well for me, but yet I still feel a little like uneasy, like I'm afraid it's going to be like the other shoe's going to fall, or, whatever that is. And to really, work with it. So, and then with feelings, just like I was saying with the spiritual, it's like, it's here anyway. And rather than like what we tend to do when we start feeling uncomfortable feelings, and usually feelings are uncomfortable when they're outside of our comfort zone and we're feeling something that we don't understand and that can be a little rough or raw or scary, is like what we tend to do is avoid or like distract or medicate. We tend to avoid the feeling, and rather it's actually way more effective if we like embrace the feeling. We're feeling it anyway. It's like we might as well, if we embrace the feeling, it actually helps us move through the feeling, more effectively and quicker. It's like, it's almost like ripping the Band-Aid off fast. It's like if we embrace it, Like, let's embrace the sadness or the loss or the emptiness, or the hollowness. Like let's embrace those things, and see what happens. You can see in dreams when there's a monster chasing you. If sometimes if you ever had a dream and there's this monster chasing you, if you turn around, or this wild animal, and embrace it, it usually turns into a little kitten or something. And this feelings are the same way. If we stop running from the feelings and turn around and just saying, oh, there's some sorrow here, there's some grief, I wonder what that is. Talk to me, sorrow. What are you about? What are you sad about? And just really listening, and then allowing yourself to feel it. And of course, the fear is that the feeling won't stop, and often that's the fear, and that's not true. As we feel it, we start moving through it. In fact, one of the reasons it feels like it doesn't stop is we never let ourselves feel it. So it's always just there, and we're like always holding it away, and it can't resolve itself, because usually we need to feel it in order for it to resolve. So that's one of the reasons that we're afraid is actually when we do feel the feeling. We might go into it deeper for a while, but then it tends to pass. So those are some things to consider at this time of year. Here we are, it's deep winter, it's early January, spring is still pretty far away, the holidays are gone, the days are short. We might as well embrace it and get the value spiritually and get the value emotionally. So that is my video for this week. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a really wonderful week, and maybe just take time to stop and inquire. Is like, what is going on inside? Ask yourself, what is going on inside? What is going on spiritually? Like, what is coming to me? What are the possibilities? Is my life do I like the course of my life? And then also emotionally, like, what am I feeling? And what does it feel like? What's my sense of it? What's the energy like of what's going on inside? And then feel it, let it out, and check it out. And I will see you in a week.